So it sounds like anybody can record. Okay, so hopefully I'm sharing my screen. All right, so in some of the emails, number one, you should have got a spreadsheet that looked like this. All right. Um, I did it a while back, so I forgot some of the. I added this calculation formula sheet. So at the bottom are what these called worksheets
Mm-hmm.
and the workbooks. So this is a workbook.
No
These are
worksheets.
worksheets at the bottom. So I added this one worksheet to calculate dividends and to calculate if you were to get covered calls, how to look at it quarterly versus monthly versus weekly. So you have dividends that pay monthly and you have dividends that pay quarterly. You have some that pay annually, but not annually, but basically most of them pay quarterly. So there are 4 quarters in a year, and there are 3 months in a quarter. So what I did was say, let's say if you had a stock that was paying 12%, 12 is pretty much straight, no, whatever math. So, oh no, I'm sorry, the annual years was 12%. So, um, I got to go back and remember why I put this up here, but what we want to do is say this is dividends. These were more like options. So if the dividend was 12%, which is 1% a month, down here, it would go down here and tell you. So if the annual dividend yield is 12% yield, which is yearly, that's the same thing as 3% quarterly or 1% monthly. Because there's, so if you look up here, there was formula. This you divide it by 4, monthly you divide by 12 or whatever that number was up there. Okay, so if you put it in, uh, let's see, and this part was if we are going to calculate covered calls. At the time, I remember what it was, but we'll come back to that. So basically, when you look at a dividend, you got to know exactly what percentage wise that is per year, per month, and per week. If you're looking at it in the form of how do I match that up with the a covered call or an option. So if you look at, I'm gonna use my covered calls as an option to match up with my dividend, then you'd say, okay, for a covered call, if I might have to break that down to weekly. Okay. So what I did was at the bottom, I've changed this now and added some more stocks like gold, GOLD would be on there, but these were some stocks. I think RBA, UMH were mineral stocks, but I know VOC is an energy stock, ET is an energy stock, and RB is an energy stock. This here might be healthcare here, but bottom line is what I was going to show you was quick thing about some of the quick things about the spreadsheet is what you would do is, let's say if you went in and you said, okay, I want to add another symbol, so we're going to make this, we're going to call it gold. You can double click on the name and change it to gold, or well, maybe you got to right click and hit rename. We're just gonna call it gold, right? So this sheet is blank. So what I would have did was, I don't know what I hit. I would take the sheet that because out here I got formulas. See up here, these are formulas here. So what you'd have to put in, you're gonna have to put in. The purpose of this is so you can actually know exactly how many shares you can calculate per month, depending on when you start buying the stock. So if you went out and put $500 into one stock one time, you can go back and download the extra dividend history, and you can download the stock history, and you can match the day it paid with the closing price, and it'll calculate how much you got and how many shares. And this was saying how many shares you bought. You can put the purchase price in to see how much you gain or loss, but that would have been over here. And then here you would put the date. So if you change this date, like this one goes back to 2006. If you change this to 2011, then these numbers over here should change to all the way down here. This 100 just would stay down to all the way down somewhere down here. So it would come back and saying, let's start in 2000, and it didn't work. Oh, I guess I put it in wrong, 2011. Let's try it again. So now we come back to 2011, and I put in basically the 11th month. So really it started in 2012. So all these hundreds mean that actually it didn't change to here. So that's what this chart's supposed to work. The spreadsheet's supposed to work. So you go in and you pick your symbol. So on this one, I've filled in some of these out here, and see, this one don't even have the formula in it. So what you would do is you would take this sheet, go to ET, highlight the whole sheet, copy it, go into the new sheet, and just paste it. Go to the first A1, right click, and hit paste. And it'll take this sheet and duplicate it, but then you'd have to go in here and say, I'm gonna make this gold. And what you really want to do is basically say, I know all these closing prices are wrong, so I just need to delete these. So I know they're wrong. But all of this is wrong too. So what you would do is, to get this information, I went up to NASDAQ site for NASDAQ history. Did somebody else join? I think somebody else just joined. No, that was Deborah just joined. Okay. Okay, so yeah, so you would go up to NASDAQ history, type in the symbol you want. You want dividend history. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? NASDAQ.com activities closed. Should have been a link that said dividend history. Let's try. Just type in gold. Let's see. And it should give you that sheet. Now, so you don't have a download button, so you got to come in here and get it about right. So you go back to your sheet, and it actually has the EXF date. So you want to get the header too. So you go back here, and so you want to just take it right here and try to highlight this, and roll down and copy this data, and go all the way down to the end. It's not pretty, it's not easy, but this goes all the way back. Don't want to get that bottom part. You want to right click, copy this, and if you get it right, when you go back to your spreadsheet, go back to gold. If you click in the first, you want to go here, right click and do paste. If you did it right, it'll replace it. If you do it wrong, it'll put it all in one column. Then what you want to do is you want to go back, and you want to highlight the data. I don't know if you need the headers or not. If not, we're going to highlight the data, all the data, and we're going to change the sort. We want the 1995 at the top. So let's just get all of this. We want to go to data. We want to go to sort, and we're going to sort by the first column, which it don't give you a name, but we're going to call it A. And when you sort, it should flip them around, and it should save the formulas, which it did not. So hopefully you can take this right here. I don't know, can you copy up? Let's see if you can copy up. I may just go ahead on and, all right, let's hope that works. But anyway, so now you got it in the right format. So we're just gonna do one to show you how it works. So you go in, you go back to the NASDAQ site. I don't know if you could see both of these at once. Oh, let me show you something before we go. So if you went in and look at these, so you see how you stroll up, you see how these lines right here go off the screen. and you don't know which column is which. So so what you want to do is you want to go in, you want to pick like the stuff you want to stay on the screen, whether if you hate stuff too much that way, too many lines or too many columns, you put your cursor where you want whatever. We don't really need cash, so we're going to put it here. We want the date. But in our case, we really want the payment date. So in reality, because there's not a lot over here, it shouldn't matter, but we might would say put it here. But in this case, we just gonna try it here. Then you go to view, and you want to what they call freeze the pane. And so you just click freeze pane, and it puts like a thing there. So when you go up, that don't move. And if you had a lot of stuff over here, you can see how that moved. But basically what we want is the payment date. And so we don't have enough stuff over here. But if you had a lot more stuff in these columns, you would have put your cursor here, and that would have kept the payment date on there and the top part. So now what you would do is you would go back to your NASDAQ site where let's see. Go back to your, where's the NASDAQ site? Here. And, oh, you know what? We could have probably clicked on the date note. Thought we could check. But anyway, so you go back and you look at the first date, and it said 5/24/1995. The price was 6 cents. The amount was 6 cents. And so 6 cents on 6/15/1995. So you want to go to 1995, and you want to put the dividend amount in at 6 cents. And you're also going to need to know the closing price. So when you go back to your spreadsheet, you're going to need the closing price, and it should have told you it was 6 cents. Yeah, it tells you it's 6 cents, so you can verify with 6 cents. And what you want is the closing price. So you got to go back. So if this matches up with that other dividend sheet, then you go to Yahoo and you tell it to do historical data. That was finance.yahoo.com, right? No, it was finance.yahoo.com. It can't be right. TOLD. Oh, there we go. Historical data. So you click on historical data. You come out better just on here. You can hit download, right here. But you see, this one also starts whatever by the latest date. I thought you could tell it to sort by the daily. Okay, yeah, you want to make sure it says daily. Historical prices. Oh yeah, here we go. Historical prices, and you want to sort ascending. So you want to do the max. Huh. Well, I thought you could sort ascending. So what this tell me was I should have put this in here before I sorted, because I don't see how I can sort by the date. Daily historical price. Anyway, so you so you can just download this. Open this up, and we're gonna blow it up. And I gotta actually figure out what adjusted close is. I don't know if we should be using the close or the adjusted close, but it makes a big difference. 62 versus 42 cents. So we're going to filter here. Each pane. Alright. So you can go in and the date you want is you want 6/15/1995. So you go in, go down to 6. I don't know. As you can see it, so don't have a 6/15. Let's go check and verify that. Said the pay date was 6/15/1995. On here, must be got the wrong stop. This saying the price 6/15/1995. So you see the price at 62 cents. What that tells me is somewhere in there this stock did a split because it's got a price at like $60. And unless I got the wrong symbol in here. Yeah, see right here. No. All right, but anyway, this should match up. So let's go back down to the end and see if it's in the $19, $13 range. So the last one is 12/15/22. 12/15/22. It said was $17. So this is close, but I don't know which one we're supposed to be using. So we're gonna go with just the close. I think we're probably supposed to use the adjusted close. But 12/15, that's 21. This is the hard part. I don't know how to do this automatic, but well, they match up, so that's good. So it don't matter. So it's 12/15. So it's 16/65. So all you would have to really do is put in here 16/65. Right? And then you got to fill this all the way out. Of course, don't do you no good to start from the bottom because you basically got to put the whole thing in. So if you went up here and said, this was $1, $1, $1, $1, you can see it'll start pulling in for you. But of course, it's not $1. Anyway, that shows you how to fill out the form. So what I want to show you was when you're looking at, I think I did ET and VOC. I did not do VOC. So RBA was no, I didn't finish RBA. And unfortunately, on the other sheet, I did finish these out, but it's at home. So, but the idea is very simple. If you took one of the stocks, here are some of the symbols. Can I get in the chat? How we get in the chat? Chat. Anyway, I'll email it out. So the symbols that we were going to look at was VOC, and we're going to look at a 1 year and a 5-year chart. So on VOC, this is a 1 year chart. As you can see, it's pretty much up, right? And so personally, it looks like it's going to continue to go up. I do own a few shares of it, 300 shares of this stock. But I would say if it was me, I wouldn't buy it here. There's another stock out there. If I can't wait till it fall back down here, then I just miss out. But it could keep on going up. But you also want to look at a 5-year chart to see what the stock was doing. And that do not look like a 5-year chart. This stock was down. Oh yeah, it was down to $2. Okay, so that is a 5-year chart. So this stock, this isn't an oil stock, energy stock. So it is got an upward trend. Again, It's for me, I would not recommend buying it at this price, but the chart looks great. Don't look so great for a 10-year stock, but if you did a 10-year stock, which I did, put in the data, it's a good idea to say if you bought this stock up here at $15, right? And you've lost $5, so you lost $5 per share. And what you want to know is if you bought this stock at $15 and just held it one time, anywhere up in here, you'd have paid $15 to $16 for it, $14 to $16. So if you'd have bought it anywhere along in here, we're just gonna say $15. In 2014 or 15, well, maybe not 15, but 2014. This is not quite 10 years ago. The question becomes, how much money have you lost? If you just bought it and held it, you can actually go in and see exactly how much money you made or lost. So as I said, I filled in the chart on ET. And this is what I was going to tell you about how in the long haul, you I want to see what I know VOC is paying like 12% dividends. Guess you got the next click. So ET is paying 26 cents a quarter. It last paid in November, and it's paying 8.72%, right? So anything they would tell you anything over 6-7% is very high, and usually the chart is down. That's why VOC is doing extremely well, and it's against the odds. Normally, over a long period of time, yes, it is down, but VOC is paying 12%. VOC, which is 12% a year, and that's extremely well to have a chart that's going up. Normally, a stock paying 10%, the chart would be like CLM. CLM always paid good, Cornerstone. I've owned this stock for a while. I usually try to play it, but it almost always have a downward chart. They always pay like 10 or more percent, but the chart is always downward. So you about maybe break even. If you can get in and out in the peaks, you may do better. But it's a great dividend stock. It's always paid high. And this one is paying where's the dividend? Let's see the dividend. Where's the dividend? I know it's paying why do I show the dividend? I have not. Let's go back to the NASDAQ. But I said, let's stop CLM. Wow, they said he stopped paying. I'm gonna have to go check this out. I don't know what just happened. I own this stock. I'm gonna have to go find out. They said he's supposed to pay in 2023, but for some reason they ain't showing the ratio. So I'm gonna have to go back and I might be glad I looked in. They're supposed to pay on the 13th, which is this week. 12 cents. I'm gonna have to go check this out and find out what's going on. But anyway, let's go back to where we was at. So so when you look at like, since we got the chart filled in, when you look at a 10-year chart on ET, energy transfer, you can see that you say, wow, you're getting killed, right? So this is a 1 year, but if you look at a 10-year chart, you can say, wow, if you bought up here, you're getting killed. So this is the 30, the stock, I don't know if it's split or reverse split or whatever. It may have reverse split. I doubt if I'd have bought a $30 stock. But even if it didn't, if you say, you got killed here, even here, you still would be down $5-6. you'd have to go in and say, this is 2017, so this is 2014. I don't know what Max is showing, but so if you bought it here, you're about even. But if you bought it anywhere up in here, within the last 8 years, so my point being, if you bought the stock here when it was going up and just held it from around 2000 and January 2014, you can actually go into here to your spreadsheet now, click on ET, put in how many shares you bought. Let's say you bought 100 shares, January, I say 2015. I say 2015. I think I did. 2014. 2014. So go back to your chart. Say you bought it in 2014. That's 8 years, right? Bought 100 shares. So you go down. So you start out with 100 shares, 2000, and you can actually go in and see the actual date, what you paid for it. But we're gonna say it was approximately, oh man, I don't know if the closing price, and it says $20, but we're gonna go back here and see if this split adjusted. So here it's about 20 bucks. So we're just gonna give it the 20 bucks. We don't know the exact price, but we're just gonna say 20 bucks, right? So you pay 20 bucks, 100 shares, that's $2,000. Right. So you got $2,000. Yeah, you got $2,000 invested in the stock. You can go down here now. The purpose of this spreadsheet is go down here and say exactly where would you be today if you'd have bought this stock. So you can see, I'm just saying 2017. 14, right? You said 2014, right? Right, okay. And you paid $20, so you got $2,000. You can go down here and say, okay, if you put these numbers in right, and we got to get the closing price right, because on if you did the Yahoo download for ET, this is gonna make a big difference. I'm gonna have to find the right answer for this, but you're gonna have 2014. You see where it's got closing price, or the close and adjusted close. So that usually means this stock must have did a split somewhere, because as you can see, it will be the same. If it didn't do a split, it will be the same forever. So right here, whatever happened right here, I don't know what the adjusted price do. I don't know if it includes this, whatever. But see, it went from it. They were the same up until the dividend, I guess. So maybe we would use the close, because I'm not sure. I use the close. I use the closing price, not the adjusted price. Because if you went down here to 2000 and what I said, 2014. Then you know the adjusted versus the closing could be a big difference. So I use the close. So just the close. They're about $1 off, but they're not way off. But when you're talking about 10 years, and I'm still in 2020. You know what? Let's download it. And I think I sent y'all these, actually sent you these files too. Look at it, just download it. So what you can see it. So yeah, so we went down to 2014. Ah, let's see what I did wrong. Next. Fine. Maybe they don't let you download it so much. Maybe you can't download with so many a day. Now you can see the download button anymore. Oh. Well, it's not sure why it's not showing them all. But anyway, I want to hold y'all up. Oh, there we go. I don't know what I did the first time. So yeah, so if you went back to 2014, then the difference in the close and the adjusted close is 10 twice as high. So it makes a difference, and I got to figure out. I'm assuming that this stock did a split, and that's why these are different. It did a 2-to-1 split, and that would be like this is twice as high. So that part would change it out a whole lot. But in general, if we went back to this thing and said, well, it didn't do a split, be on the safe side, we just gonna make it 5 years, 6 years. Then what this would tell you was that if you bought 100 shares in 2016 at $20, basically 6 years ago, at about last time it paid dividends, your 100 shares would have turned into 179 shares. So yeah, you put in $2,000 back 6 years ago. The chart is pretty bad, but actually you're still ahead of $185 because the stock, and that's based on if I got these closing price instead of adjusted price correct. So yeah, so that shows you that even though the stock is basically way up here went down, you paid $20. Well, 2000, what I said, 16, man, you paid about $20 in 2062. But if you bought up in here, you'd be in worse shape. But yeah, so basically you don't have to get back to $20 to be even. At $12 now you are ahead because your shares have went up so much more. Now the other thing what we were going to show you was if you looked at the options. So if you looked at I need a piece of paper. If you looked at any stock, we're going to look at the ones on the chart and give you an example what you're trying to figure out. So the first one is ET. So ET back on dividends pays quarterly, right? So you need to know if it pays annually, bi-yearly, quarterly, or monthly. But this one pays quarterly. So it pays quarterly, right? It pays 26.265. 0.265, which is approximately 8.725, 8.72%. What you want to do is say, okay, I'm getting 8%, stock goes up or down. Can I get 10% off the option of this stock? And it really depends on where the stock lays on the chart. So you go in and you pull up the option chain and you see how the option. So, but before we do that, let's go back to our spreadsheet. That's what this is all about. So if you're getting 8.72% quarterly, right? Then you have, no, that was 8.72% yearly. Yearly. You have to say, how much is that quarterly? So 8.72, which is basically going to divide by 4% yearly is, quarterly dividend. So if you did 8.72% quarterly, yearly, then that's 0. So the 8.72 is per year. You want to break that down to monthly, to quarterly, and then monthly. And actually, you need to break it down to weekly, right? But we're going to do that with the actual amount. So basically, that's 0. That can't be right. Oh, it's 12.218% quarterly. That makes more sense. Divided by 4, which is about 0.72% monthly. All right. So, which you would do the same thing to say if you were getting 0.265%, you would do the same thing. You would break that down quarterly, monthly, yearly. All right. So when you go back to your chart, you want to look at the options, right? So this shows you that this stock actually pays weekly. So now you got another big factor to look into. Most of them pays monthly. You got to break yours down now to weekly, because you could say, instead of me going out to January the 20th, I can go out to January the 27th, where in most cases you would have January the 20th and then February the 17th. So you got a lot of choices in here based on speculation, or you can say, well, January 20th is pretty close. I'm going to go out to February the 17th, which is third Friday of February. And if this stock is paying 26% a quarter, you have to divide that by 3, which is basically less than 9 cents per month. So let's just go with the 9 cents. If you can get 18-cent dividend, then you're basically beating that 8.72% in dividend off the covered call. That's where the covered call comes. So if you went and look out February the 17th, right? And so is that $12? You can say, what can I get for 13? Can I get, I said 8 cents? But they're paying 13 to 15 cents. So in essence, you're going to make more money. You got to do the math to say this 13 to 15% is more money. I'm making more money off the covered call because I'm not going to sell the stock either way. Now, the question is how close it is to 13. If they had a 12.50, you can say, okay, well, I'm going to pay the 12.50, but they don't have a 12.50. But what you're saying is that, is it going to go up 70 cents or more? If you worry about if you get up, you worry about if you get over it as you get over it. But as long as it don't get over, what you're saying is, I'm gonna make an extra 70 cents off the stock. I'm gonna make I got a 12.5 there. So I got a 12.5. It's only 30 cents. So, anyways, you have to look at each one of them to say which one is the best deal. I'm gonna keep at this and I'm just gonna go to Friday. You go out to Friday, you can say, well, it's at 12.32. I'm gonna go to Friday. So you can get 7 cents covered call off this just by going to Friday. You won't get but a penny if you get that, if you try to 13. But you can go out to next Friday, which is the 20th, and you can say, well, okay, it might easily go to 12.50. That's only, it went up 17 cents today. It could easily go up another 18 cents by next Friday, but I'll take the 3 cents, 2 to 3 cents for the 13. So now you have to say, is that 2 to 3 cents better, or do I want to go all the way out and play February? And I ain't got to just let it sit. Or if they got March, they don't have a March. So they don't show you March. So April probably is not going to be worth it. But you can look at April and say that's way out there. April probably is not going to be any better because it's so far out. to say, I wouldn't go with 13, but you'll get 40 cents. If you went all the way out to April for 13, but that's 3 months. So there were, and you definitely wouldn't say, I'm only going to take $15 when you can go up here and get 13. That's it, February 7th, you can get 13 cents for February. So you wouldn't want to go out to 8. So that's how covered calls work. You'd have to go in and we have to calculate how, and remember I gave you a sheet a while back on dividends, on covered calls, but you can go in and say how much, what percentage of, you're getting 26 cents per quarter, but it paid in November. So actually it's paying dividends again in February. 3 months, November, December, January, February. So in February, it's going to pay again. And it's usually going to be around the same time. So if you went in and looked back at the dividend date, I can even see it on the chart. It pays around it pays around the first part. So it pays at the beginning between the 3rd and the, I paid on the 10th there, but it pays different time. But we're going to assume it's going to pay between the 3rd and the 5th. And this could be like the first Tuesday or whatever of each month. I don't know. But the 11th month, November, December, January, so around February the 3rd to February the 7th, it'll pay another 26, 27 cents. As you notice, the 265 was rolled. They rounded up to 2.27, which you only get 0.265. They do that to make it sound better. all of them like that. So you do, if you take the same thing and you go in and you take a stock that you got, PSEC pays every month. So you go in and you add PSEC to here. You can do the same thing for, you can do the same thing to see if what your shares look match up to what you thought you was gonna get. So that's what this sheet is all about. We may need to do, Deborah, you still there? I hope she are. Fall asleep.
I am. I was just muted.
Okay. So yeah, so if you got any questions, I know I went through it real quick because I spent a lot of unnecessary time on the beginning, but we can go over this sheet. You kind of need to be in it working. But basically what it does is, what I was trying to say was like, if you picked, here's the stock that I'm finna buy. I got like 100 shares now, and I'm in the hole with the CIM. I have not done much research on the company itself, but if you look at the chart, like I said, I haven't done a lot of research on the company itself. I hadn't bought it yet. It actually, it's down today. Okay, so I bought this stock above this price. I know I'm in the hole a little bit, and I'm thinking I only got 100 shares, which is $600. But if you look at the chart, it's at the bottom of it, so it pays. This is a 1-year chart, so it pays every month. But if you look at like a 5-year chart, you can see instead of being at the top of the thing here, it's toward the bottom. Even if you look at this little corner here, instead of being at the top here, it's more toward the bottom. So I'm hoping that it'll, in the next 5-6 months, it will go here. Because I bought somewhere along in here. I ain't had it that long, but this stock pays a lot. If you looked at a 10-year chart, it probably look better because it was actually kind of a 10-12% stock that was going up. It dropped there, but if you drew a line from here to there, it was constantly going up to 2020. So basically, if you started back here, it was about at $14. You can see the price over here on this side. So if you start somewhere down here, it was at 14.50, and then it was, you had a little dip there, but basically it's going up. Normally, a stock that pays that high, and this stock has been paying 10 to 15%, even way back then. Any stock over 10% almost always have a downward chart. So in other words, this would have been a great thing if you had it years ago. Even this would have been a great stock. Even if you got caught bad here, that's a drop from $20 all the way down to $5. Even if you got caught right here, it pays such a high dividend that I guarantee you, and this is only 3 years now. So if you would have jumped in here, you'd be doing great. But even that drop here, I'm thinking I'm gonna get some of this. I had to say, I went all in on IVR, but because it's paying 15%, your money would double in like 3-4 years, right? So if you take this stock, which is CIM, that's paying, where is it? Dividends. So the purpose of this, the goal of this is for you to go out and take the stock you got, see if you can get 100 shares. Come on now. Oh, dang, block me.
So is this a good time to buy it now, you think?
I mean, the chart, like I said, I have not, you know me, I don't read up a lot on most companies to see if the company got news or whatever. Just on the chart, I'm saying,
looking at the chart, it looks like a good time to buy.
right, because on my perspective, if you compare this chart, I own more VOC, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why is this chart not coming up?
Maybe too many. Everybody heard you. They're going to buy.
No, but I mean, if you look, I own VOC too, right? And of course, you know I own PSEC, but PSEC paid monthly. Okay, VOC chart look awesome, right? See how it's going up, but it's at the top. I'm saying if it dropped down to here, I would recommend it more to the $8 level. Even though it's saying it's gonna keep going up, I'm just not willing to take that chance. I already own some, so I'm not gonna sell it. But I'm saying because this is at the top of that line, so in other words, if it was here, I would have tried to say, okay, if it dropped back, I'll buy it. So yeah, if you'd have been here, you'd have been wrong, you'd have lost out on all that money right there if you would have tried to wait till it dropped back here. But there's plenty of other stocks out there. So yeah, if you'd have bought here and just held, it wouldn't have mattered. And I'm saying if you ain't got it right now, I would wait and see if it's gonna drop back down to 850, somewhere along in here. It may keep on going to 11, 12, 13, and you'll never get in it. But I'm saying if you look at that versus CIM, and I did this on IVR and I'm getting killed. I put a lot of money in IVR. It was paying 13, 14, 15%. And that was my goal of, hey, I can retire with this. Can I get a 1 year chart? It is a 1 year chart. Let's go to 6 month chart. So I put in CIM. So CIM, this is like 3 months here. So it's not moving a lot. It's between 5 and not quite $7. But I'm just saying over 2 year, 5 year, if you're looking at a 5 year chart, it looks better in the sense that the last 3 months, like it's more toward the bottom. Well, actually, you should have got in here, but like it's more toward here than toward here. So that's only $6 to almost $7. So yeah, I would most likely myself would hope to get back to, well, even though I own it, I would hope to buy some more of this just because this stock also pays real good dividends. So this is CIM, right? And it's at 621. So it's paying, I said, 0.23, right? This is ET. CIM. So what you got is whatever the dividend stock you look at, you look at the rate, how much it pays per quarter. So this one's paying 23 cents, right? 0.23. This $8 stock. $6 stock, right? 6.21. Right. So you also have to say, okay, well, it just paid. So, you're gonna get dividends for 2 or 3 months. You pay quarterly, but it's paying 14.67%, whereas ET was paying 8%. Right. So you have to look at all that. My thing for this is not to just say, okay, I can get 14% a quarter, 14% a year. My
Dividend
point
rate.
is, if you can afford to buy 100 shares, which is going to cost you 650, 620 to 600 some dollars,
Mm-hmm.
go out here and pay the options. So you're getting 14% a year per quarter, because you may not hold the stock that long, depending on where this price is. If it get close to 650, that's midpoint between 6 and 7. So it's hard. That's a big gap at that lower price. So it's hard to get something from 621 to 7. So you're not going to get, because the strike price is so far away, you're not going to get much, right? Because it's a $6 stock. The chance of it going to 7 is slim to none. So this one's going to be hard to get the dividends. And if you played the $6 role, you gotta subtract 20 cents from it. But either way, you still want to look at the options, right? So you can get 14% in dividends. Can you get 15% in options? So if you said, okay, I'm gonna go look at January, February, and March, $7 call. $7 here, basically nothing. $7 here, okay, you're getting 10 to 15 cents. $7 here, you get 15 to 25 cents. So you can get 20 cents if you can get in the middle. And if you go all the way out to March, you kind of need to know when the next dividend gonna be to see how that gonna hit. But you can say, I can get 10 cent, an extra 10 cent, or I ain't got to worry about it. Just go to March and get 15. I probably can get, if I can get 20 cent more, which is not quite. You wanted to get quarterly. You was getting 32 or 23. I think it was 23. I think it was 20. I wrote 32, but I think it was 23 cents. So you're getting 20. So that's almost another 15, 14, 12% you can get off the dividend instantly, right? And so you can play that field and just let it sit. I hate IVR. I hate to even pull it up, but I gamble because it played every week. And I kept missing and kept not getting none and kept not getting none. And so with options, because the stock has been going probably up in the last week, that affects the price. So you could possibly get, here you're getting less than 15%, but you're still probably getting 12%. And so if you wait on the data to go up, you could possibly get more. But that's my point, is that you can take the stock or any stock. Like I said, if you're wrong, at least you got something back before the covered call, before the dividend come in. You got an extra 20 cents just instantly. You don't have to wait them 3 months, but if you bought it now, instantly you can get an extra 20 cents back, and you pray that it don't go below $6. And if it go below $6, you adjust. But the ideal is, I'm going to do this quarter after quarter after quarter. And like I said, I got IVR. I'm going to put that on my list to see how much I actually lost. But I dumped a lot of my retirement dreams into this stock, IVR, and it has been nothing but downhill since I started buying it. It did a split, so it's hard for me to do. I didn't add it to the shop because it did a split right after I put my money into it. So it's going to be hard for me to figure out how to put those closing price in. But chart maybe. Let's say option. I do not know how to get straight back to a chart on Fidelity. So when you're wrong and you're greedy, because on IVR it pays options weekly. So if you looked at I've had it at least 3 years, I know. If you looked at a 5-year chart, see, I got caught here. Somewhere in there did a reverse split. So this is 2020. So maybe I got caught up in here. I don't think I got caught back here, but the chart says here it wasn't a bad stop from 2018 to there. It was a pretty level stop. It pays good dividends, and this was 2020. So I must have got it somewhere along in here because I got it and it dropped hard and hard and hard. So it's been basically downhill ever since. But what that means is I'm getting good money, good shares off my dividends. But when it comes to the options, because I was greedy, I would try to pay the next. See, this one pays every week. So I would try to go out instead of going out. Like when I did this, I was going to go out 3 months. And whatever they was paying, I was going to get more than that in 3 months. And I would try to get next week, and I'd try to get next week, and I'd wait a day and wait a day, then I get zero. Then that would number like, so right now, if I tried to get 13, and when I bought it, the stock was like $3. So it did a 4-to-1, I believe, 4-to-1 reverse split. So it's a totally different mentality now. Where I had a bunch of shares, now I don't, because they divided by 4. But it was at $3, what they call split adjust, which makes it probably went to $16, and I've dropped $4 off that. But anyway, it's been a bummer for me. I'm doing better on the covered calls now because I ain't as greedy. But the weekly ones are really tempting because you can say if I wait a week, this number might go up. So this stock right now is at $12.97. So it's right at, it's been up 20 cents a day. So it's right at the $13. So you would want to go to the $13.50. So you can say I can go in there right now and get 6, 7, 8 cents, and just for Friday, right? Knowing it should go to $13.50. I wouldn't take a risk on 3 cents for $13 by Friday. But I can go out next week. But you see right there, that 4545, that means that's because that stock did a split. So it did a split maybe 2 or 3 months ago. I have to go back and look. So that messes up my chart. That's one reason I didn't add it. But if you went out and said, these are the ones that had options cover calls before the split. That's why they got 2 prices in. So if I went out to 13.50 for next week, see, I can get 15 cents. So this one is really, it's tempting because every week you calculating, okay, I can get 13.50, I can get 20 cents here. Go out another week, I can get 25, 30, 40, see that big gap. So instead of saying I'm just gonna go all the way out to February or March, and they don't have March, but I'm gonna go all the way out to February. And where, because it's so long, they don't do you don't get as much. Oh, they don't even have the 13 anymore. So, you would stop here and say February the 17th, I ain't got to worry about it. I can just go get 13 or 14 and just be conservative. I can get $1 in something. I'll get big money for the 13, but I can just be conservative and get the 30 cents for the 14. That's another, 15%, 10%, whatever the math is. That's what I'm trying to get us to do as a group, to say, here's a great stock. So somebody go out and say, I really love this stock. And so once you really love the stock, then you go out and say, okay, can I combine options with this stock and double my percentage? So if you went and looked at the sheet that I had, and I might add it to this sheet, I may go back and find it, but it was a sheet on to tell you about, percentage wise, if you had 1% per month, so this was monthly rate, this was a monthly rate, right? So basically the difference would be that what's the sheet? This one's like if you put in $100, this can't even one because I had 0.43 on it, but let me see. I don't think that's the one. Hold on 1 minute. And as you could tell, I'm not. Oh man, but this will work. This will work either way. So basically, what it shows you that if you had $100 and you was putting in this ain't good one here because the other one I had you put in one thing at the top. This is really, but either way, no matter what it is, we're gonna look at this here is done in yearly, but basically what you want to look at is this is compounded per man, this don't let me see. I wanted to show you what the difference between 1% a month, which is 12%, and 2% a month is 20%. I mean 24%. Yeah, this ain't the sheet here. Because let me go look now. But anyway, it will show you that extra 2% your money would double in like 3 years, 2 years. All right, but y'all got that sheet. This might be one. This might be one right here. All right, so this might be one. But basically, what it was going to show you that if you put in so much per month, this is like if you contribute per month. And so in this case, let's just say $100. So we might can do. And this was like the interest rate per month, not per year, right? So basically, if you put in this, I calculated the top line. So the green thing means these are the green mean these are the thing that you put in. So 0.84 per month is approximately 10% a year. So the difference between 1%, which is they were paying about 1.25, which is 15% for CIM. If you look at the difference between 15% and we're going to go to 30%, or which really would be 2%, which is 3%, 2.5. All right, so you're going to basically say the difference between column E, and this one. So if you went out, and these are months, not years, so you can't do it for 10 years, but we're gonna go 5 years. 5 down 12 is 60. So in 60 months, the difference between 15%, $8,000, and if you got the covered call, would be $13,000. Of course, this is $100 a month. Actually, you putting in $100 a month. If you did this for 10 years, of course, 120, it would be so much different because 15% would be 27. Whereas over here if you got the covered call, I said 20, it will be 75. So the difference grows over and over and over years. So this is 120. This is 10. Of course, this was 10 years, which is a long time. But it shows you that the percentage rate is a whole lot more important than that, $100. And this is as saying you putting in $100 per month. not a one-time $100 deal. So, you know, if you went out and bought, said that you didn't put in a monthly amount, you just put in one amount, it's still the same. You get more if you can actually get that covered cost to equalize your, because 14% is risky. Usually that's going to mean it's going to take a hit. All right. Any questions? That's a lot. We're going to have to do a thing on covered cost, but let's see the sheet. Yeah, I can always do one on just covered calls, but I was saying if you get a good stock and look at the dividend, if it have options, you want to say that's why the gold stock being at, I thought it was a $3 stock. So one of these is at $3. One of the stocks he gave me got RBA. That's Allen. I wish I had his sheet. RBA. I had it wrote down at home, and of course I walked out. What RBA? Well, you know what? It was in the email. Hold on. But let's see if I can search for his name. Might get to learn how to use the phone. So the stock that we was talking about was BTG and WPM. What is the price? Okay, this one's $8. AG is $8. And the silver company is EXK. But I went in on his sheet and put down the one that actually had option. I just never mailed it back out. So, but anyway, you can do any stock like this. One of the ones he had, this was $8 stock. AG. One of the ones we had looked at was AG. And this stock over 10 years, it's been pretty much even. So this is not what they call a growth stock. A growth stock is a stock with a chart that's going up. But this is a 10-year chart. It's basically been around $8 to $9. And it's went up, came back down, went up, came back down, went down, came back up. But in 10 years, it's basically been stuck around $8. So unless he's paying a good dividend, it's not a great stock. And so why didn't the dividend come up? This stock pays that 3% dividend of 0.27. It only pays 0.27 dividends. So for me, I would not entertain this stock just because unless it was really down on the symbol, to me, it would, even if the option was good, I wouldn't be buying it for the dividend. If it's only paying 0.27%, then this stock should have had a chart, a long-term chart that was more upward. So that's the kind of stuff. The other one was like maybe it was RG. BTG maybe. Chart looks good. That's a 1-year chart though. So it's paying 4%. I'm assuming that's the dividend yield. 4%, which is pretty much a good dividend yield. You would hope that that's right in where you want to be. And this is only a 1 year chart. So you would hope that this is going back to what, $4. And it says, well, that's closer to $5. So 450. But you see, it took a year and it ain't really moved. So if you looked at a 5 year chart, it's should be slowly up. 2020 didn't drop too hard in 2020. So it's basically a good time. If you're looking at just this part right here, seems like there's a pretty good chance that this would be a buy just on the chart, meaning if it gets over this part right here, the 350, well, it's over 350, so it's a good chance you can go all the way up to almost to $4 and something. So this is a good, just on that last end right there, go back to the 1 year chart. Just on this, once it got over here, over this line right here, it would have been a good time to buy it at 350, 360. So it still would be a good buy. The question becomes, do it have any options? Do. So you can say this was paying what, 4%? So can you get 5% a month? You're not buying it for the dividend per se, only it should grow 5%. You should get 5% on the dividend, and you should be able to say, okay, this stock may not have a $4 being at this small stock. So you got to go all the way to $5. That's $1.20 away. You ain't gonna get much for that. See, 0 to 5 cents, 5 to 10 cents. But if you go out to February, you can get an extra nickel. So that at a $3 stock is still a pretty decent percentage. I don't know. They don't have March. Most of them don't have March. So it's at the wrong price, but as it go closer to $4 and something, you'll be able to get a lot more for that 5. Normally, a stock with that big a gap, $2 gap, 250 gap, I wouldn't buy it with the idea that I'm gonna hold it for a long time, because once you get over $5, you don't be able to get anything until you get up closer to 7. So you wouldn't buy this for an option play unless it was read at, that to make it worth it to go out to the $5. You don't want to mess with the end of money. So for me, it's great stock, but just the option is not a good play. You can't buy the stock for the option. You'd have to know more to say, well, I'm not gonna get much for the option, so I'm playing the stock for it growth. So I would not recommend this one for the covered call, not at this price. If it was below 250, or if it was closer to, if it moves, you can make a big hit. If it moves up a good little bit, you can make a good hit. But and well, let's go back to the dividend one more time.
1,000 right there. Their paperwork ain't with. Oops, I'm not talking too loud.
No, you good.
Sorry.
I just want to see one more thing before I get off here. So with combining dividends and options, you got to look at when they finna pay the dividends. Come on, dang. There we go. So they paying dividends on, they just paid on 12/6. So you got 1 month gone, so 12, 1, 2, 3. So March the 6th, they'll pay again. So, and they're only paying 4 cents. So, you can make better money off the dividend, but that's not 4%, meaning the stock ain't volatile. It ain't losing a lot, but you ain't gaining a lot. 4% a year, 4 cent 4 cent a quarter. So must be a monthly. I said it pays quarterly. So anyway, I would not recommend. All right. Any questions? Any recommendations?
Nope.
Any thing you want to clarify, understand? I had a list of stocks on Facebook a while back, and most of them were energy stocks. My password. and I probably emailed it out. It was in the advance. And I try to post these to YouTube and oh, there go the stocks. Most of these came off his list. HL, PAS, RBA, WPM. Like I said, some reason I would not. I think most of the people picked AG, but I did a list a while back, and it was like, the summer maybe high yield dividend to retire off of. Do you remember that?
Are you talking? You're not talking to me, are you?
I'm talking to you now.
Well, I didn't. No, I don't remember that. I'm sorry.
I did a thing of stocks that were like 10, 15%. I know it was a while back this summer, and because I thought I reposted, said, how am I doing? So I thought I emailed it out. But anyway, it was like, it was in a spreadsheet format. Cause I'm pretty sure I was like, why I didn't do I think it was ET. Because it was a lot of energy stocks in there at the time. Hey man, I posting a lot. I'd be posting more than I think I'd be posting.
Mm-hmm.
But it'd be good to see how, man, I thought I reposted this year. That's a March. Been that long? Here you go, right here. No. Maybe they ain't showing everything. It couldn't have been back this far. I'm gonna have to find it. But this is the sheet right here. The sheet, I gave y'all a blank sheet. And this must be mine right here. So yeah, here we go. So these stocks right here are like, if you were gonna buy 5, 10 stocks to retire, and all you was gonna live off was the dividend, what 10 stocks would you pick? And these are the ones I pick. And I think I said, why didn't I pick PSEC? And I think this was January. And I think I just posted and said, how am I doing? I hadn't checked, but it also says some of these were not designed to hold for 5 years. See, this one I only said 6 months. CLM, that's that one that I know gonna go down. It's probably down now, but 6 months ago I might be good. This one was only 3 months. These right here, CIM. Oh, you know what? CIM was on my list, and my thing was after 3 months dumping. After 3 months dump PL3, I would have blew up on VOC because VOC have steady been going up. VOC is like at close to level. Is it VOC? VOC. Oh, you know what? So you said you never had ORC.
Not me. I don't remember. Nope, I don't remember ever having that.
I thought I got that from you, but man, I got a $10 call on that stock. $10. You see what is at 11.30.
That's good, right?
No, that means that the $1.30 I can't get unless I pay a whole lot for it. And I was like, oh man, should I?
I don't like. I just kind of shut my head off when you talk about options. I tried it. It's too crazy. I'm sorry.
I know, but you have to look at it like I'm not worried about the stock. It's like I'm missing that. I'm losing that $1.30. I mean, I don't know how much. I'm hoping I got $1 for it. But it's like it's too high to buy out of. Cause I got like one. I don't know what I bought it, but I think I got like one share. I ain't got a lot of it, and it ain't in my regular account. It's in like that Wells Fargo account, I think. One of them. But either way, it's like, do I buy out? I ain't gonna get nothing for the next month. I either got this month our favorite. I think it's coming up next week. But yeah, that's and it's been steadily going. It ain't like I just figured it out. it's been around 11 for a while. So if I looked at but that's almost a good problem to have.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's been high for a while. And it may be well, it should have a 10, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, so it's $1 spread. I don't know how I got caught up, but either way, I might have bought it when it read at $10 and couldn't get none for the 11, so I sold the $10 one. That's what I was telling you about, that one that's, if you buy in the money, you got to be willing to let them take the stock. So I ain't really worried about them taking the stock. So I probably got $1 or 80 cents for it. But I wish, it's bad you wish the stock go back down, but yeah. But I know, but that's usually, I don't know what I paid for it. But when you sell in the money, you are willing to say, I bought the stock for $8. If you get the 9, I'll take it. Plus, you're gonna pay me more. So if it go to 12, it hurts. But like, well, I would have sold it at 10 anyway. I would have sold it at whatever anyway. That's the way I look at those. It's just that, and I had time on this. It's been there for a month. I had time to buy out. It's like if a stock that goes up real high in one day is where you really feel bad or get hurt. This didn't do that. I just kept waiting. All right, I'm gonna end the recording. Hopefully it recorded. Sound this time. I don't know if I can save. Let's see what happens if I hit E. Deborah, I might if I do end me for all I know to record, say the recording. I don't know what happens if I just start the recording. So if not, I might have to call me back or Zoom back